Hello and welcome to the first program in what will be quite a long running series to do with the building of my railway. Hooray! I got round to actually starting to build my railway. My railway is called Forest in Teesdale, and it is based on a line that was proposed to have been built in the 1860s, 1870s, but it never was. And this was an extension of the Barnard Castle to Middleton in Teesdale branch, which it was proposed to extend to Alston. The line failed to be authorised because the engineering work that would have been involved was pretty major. There would have been tunnels and viaducts and everything. But what I've done is I've done a survey of the topology using large-scale maps, and I've come up with what I think is a reasonable facsimile of an intermediate station on this line. And if you're familiar with the area, it is near where High Force is, the famous waterfall. So there's a village there which is called Forest in Teesdale, and much in keeping with stations, rural stations that were built around that time, it's near but not all that near the village. So I'll show you a track plan. The track plan was originally drawn using AnyRail, and I used the Pico templates to plan it, but I have got a fixed space to put it. It can't actually go in the house. I've got an outhouse out the back in the garden, which is substantially built out of breeze blocks and with a tin roof, and that gives me 16-17 feet length, and that's where the layout will eventually go. I've got a couple of baseboards already built, and the layout has been planned around the baseboards. However, I asked my good friend Ian Allen, who you may or may not know, to draw the plan up using Templot, so that I can build the track from scratch. And if I just reach over here without destroying anything too much, this is the complete plan for Forest in Teesdale. The layout is not actually the station. It's a bit, there'll be the ends of the platforms, but it's the goods yard and a mineral interchange to give me an excuse to have a branch line off it. So I'll explain all that to you when I do the picture. What I'm going to do is now continue with what is in effect a confession, because Mr. Reynolds has finally gone over to the dark side, and this layout is going to be DCC controlled. And I've been looking at various DCC systems for a little while, and I've come to the conclusion that I will use JMRI, which is the open source software for running DCC. You may be familiar with it, and there is a program in the show next week showing you how to use Decoder Pro, which is part of the suite of programs. So with this in mind, I decided that I am going to have a control station based around a Raspberry Pi computer, and I've bought this so that I can have something to control it, and what I'll do is I'll put this together shortly and show you. and I've got a touchscreen, 10-inch touchscreen to attach to it, and the layout will be controlled from this touchscreen. To actually do the excuse me, to actually do the business with the DCC, control the DCC, I've bought this, which is highly recommended. It's compatible with virtually anything in the DCC world. About the only thing it's not compatible with is NCE stuff, because NCE use a different protocol to everyone else, but this is compatible with LocoNet and ExpressNet, so it will work with Lens, Eco OS, Digitrains, everything, Digitrax, you name it, it will work with it. So this arrived today, and what you get in the box, you get a little bit of an instruction manual, and you get the control unit, which is quite dinky, quite small. This is its own Wi-Fi hotspot when it's up and running, so it's quite good. You can use your phone or a tablet as a throttle if you don't want to attach anything to it. And you get a white box, if I can open it, which has got some bits and pieces in, a USB cable and a variable voltage power supply with a UK and a European plug in it, universal adapter. Okay, so that's that. I'll put all that back. I'm also going to have feedback on my layout, so also bought from the same supplier. I bought one of these for feeding the track. This is a DR4088, and this provides feedback for the panel. It's basically 16 track circuits in a box, and it connects up via LocoNet. So, and I also bought a LocoNet cable. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the Raspberry Pi together, and I will, much the same as I did with the A8 video, I will run through that and show you bits and pieces of it while I'm doing it. You get an instruction book with the kit, and this tells you everything that you need to know. It's quite easy to follow. I read through it last night. So what we'll do now is we'll go away and we will start putting together the Raspberry Pi for doing the control. So in the box, the Raspberry Pi box, you get this box, and that box has actually got the Raspberry Pi. This is a Raspberry Pi 4B Plus, and then underneath, in the bottom of the box, you get a fan, cooling fan. You get a little enclosure to put it in. You get a power supply. You get an HDMI cable and a USB cable. You get 3 heat sinks, a screwdriver, a card reader, and you get an SD card with the OS already on it. Now what I've done, this Raspbian, which is a version of Linux. What I've done, if I can find it, is I have already been on my laptop downstairs and I've downloaded the JMRI files for the Raspberry Pi. This has got everything on it, so I'll take the micro SD card out in a minute when we've built this one up and tested it using the OS which is supplied, and we will see what it does when we load this. Okay, so we've installed the fan in the lid. When you do this, make sure you use the correct screws in the kit. If you use the kit, it actually says, so you can't really see it, hold on, let's do that and you should be able to see it. It actually says 4 fan on the packet, and what I've done is the heatsinks are self-adhesive, so I've installed the heatsinks on the board, and what we will do now is we will put the board in the box. So it says in the instructions to put it in from the HDMI side. So there you go. There, the board is actually in the box, and I'll put the screws in. They actually give you 5 of each of the screws, which is pretty good, just in case you lose one. So we'll put that in, and now we're finished. And that's only taken about 10 minutes to do that. The fan connects to the I/O pins. There's 2 possible positions that you can put the pins on, and at a later date we might see if we can create a temperature control unit for it, so we don't have to worry about the speed. So there it is, computer in a box, tiny box. And what we will do now is we will connect we will put the SD card in for the OS, which is supplied with the kit. So we'll put that in, make sure you get it the right way round. We'll put that in, and the last thing that we will do is we will connect up. This is the touchscreen. It's a bare bones touchscreen. It hasn't got a bezel because it's going to go into a control panel at a later date. So we'll connect this up. We'll do it very carefully, make sure that we don't drop it. So this is the HDMI cable. Make sure we get it the right way round. And this is a USB, I hope. There's another HDMI cable. So the touchscreen is controlled via the USB port, and allegedly this screen that I bought is completely compatible with the Raspberry Pi. So the USB has gone into a USB 2 port, and the HDMI goes into an HDMI port, and we'll undo the power supply and we'll see what it does. it looks like we're in business. So we'll see what it does. It looks like it's taking a little while to start up. So when it's started up, I'll come back and show you what it's done. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this properly, but what we've managed to do, I substituted the SD card that came in the kit with the one that I created from JMRI, and as you can see, it has actually started up, but it's not configured correctly for the DR5000. So I'm going to have to go away and do some reading up. So welcome back, and I have managed to correctly configure the Raspberry Pi to the DR5000, if you remember from the last time, and I've done this just by following the instructions in the JMRI web pages for configuring the DR5000 for Windows, and I got it to connect. I'm just waiting for it to boot up now so I can show you in close-up that the touchscreen is controlling the DR5000 now, and I did this earlier. It's a few days have passed since I recorded the last bit, and I have managed to run my Sentinel up and down a short length of track under the control of a tablet, so I know that it's all working. But what I can do is I'll try and show you on close-up. Sadly, I can't record the touchscreen as it is, but I'll try and record it with the camera so I can show you what the setups are, and I can also refer you to the pages that are necessary. And what we'll do next after doing this in another video is we will go on to showing you how to automate the layout, the setting of points and the detection of sections. But the screen should boot up quite soon. It does take quite a long time for it to start, so when it starts we'll go to a close-up on the screen. I'll draw the curtains so you can see it a bit better, and I'll show you that it is actually controlling the DR5000. Okay, so this is what you get when your Raspberry Pi has eventually booted, and this is the control for the control unit, the DR5000, which is here. I'll bring that into shot in a minute. Don't worry about this thing up here, this bit, and what you want to do is you want to concentrate on this bit down here. So to configure it, you need to do, sorry, the screen's not fixed, so we do edit, preferences, and get this screen up here. So if I zoom in a bit, you'll see the options that you have, and what we're going to do is we're going to configure the DR5000. So we need to do the system configuration. It's what we're going to do is it is going to emulate a Digitrax system. So we're going to do, here we go, LocoNet. Let's go up, let's find the correct one. LocoNet Loco Buffer USB, that's the one that you want to do. Command station type DCS 100 Chief, and that is correct. Serial port, right, and you need to select the correct USB port, and it is the third one down. It's TTY ACM0, so that's TTY Alpha Charlie Mike 0. So select that one, And when you have done that, you click on save over on the right of the screen. You must restart, so we'll restart it and it will go away, and it's restarting, and it's so much quicker now. I've fitted a new SD card and it's all come back. And what you have now is, if I bring the DR5000 into view, so I'll just move it a little bit more. So you've got the DR5000 here is sitting on top of the box, and you have the command station touchscreen. And what should happen when I touch the red power button where it says off, the red LED should change to green. So we'll see what if it does it, and it should do it, and there you go. So what's happening now is this is talking, the touchscreen and the Raspberry Pi, the little black box over here, is talking to the DR5000. And now if you connect your tablet using all the defaults, then you'll be able to run a train. Okay, so we'll finish this bit of video, and what we will do is we will move off and we will move on to creating a panel to control points and do your section detection. And for that I'm going to use my laptop. I'm going to do it using Windows, but it's exactly the same. So just as a reminder to show that it wasn't a fluke, if you watch the red LED here, and I will touch that, and you notice it becomes active, and it's no longer active. Okay, thanks for watching. Watch out for the next video, which is about starting the creating of the control panel.